Hi and welcome to Tea and Biscuits.
A vlog about fashion, beauty, books and everything in between.
Today we're going to be doing our first book club.
Which is going to be The Fault in Our Stars by John Green.
So grab a cup of tea.
And some biscuits.
And tune in.
Enjoy our book club.
I'd like to take you out for tea and for biscuits.
Okay, so basically how our book club's going to work is we're going to do like a plot summary and we'll be giving away the ending. So if you haven't read the book, don't watch this until you've read the book. That made sense, didn't it?
A little bit, yeah. And then we're going to have some discussion questions that we're going to discuss between ourselves, and then feel free to comment because we've not really had any comments so far.
Please comment.
So please comment.
It'll make us happy.
It will, it really will.
Okay, so basically it starts out with the protagonist, which is Hazel, and she goes to her cancer support group and she meets Augustus Waters, I think his name is, and it's basically just how their relationship develops and how they're dealing with like their friends having cancer and both of them having had cancer, and they just get closer and you kind of see how their relationship develops with each other, and it has a very sad ending and an unexpected ending as well, because you kind of presume that from the start you kind of think that she's going to die at the end, but Augustus ends up dying at the end, which is so sad.
And show you the city as I see her, how I need her.
Okay, so our first question is what themes were present in the book. So Hayley, what themes do you think are present?
Well, the theme I was going to talk about is like mortality and death. So it starts out with a character who has got cancer, and although she isn't actually like directly dying from it, she knows she's going to die from it, like eventually it's going to kind of get her, and she goes to this support group, and everyone in the group is either had cancer or is just recovering from it. And I also thought like there's this bit in the book where the leader is reading out all of the names of like the people that have died, and the list just goes on and on to the point where you almost stop reading and the person in the book feels like they kind of stop listening, and it's kind of like life feels quite meaningless, I think, to her. But then as the book goes on, you see her sort of rekindle a passion for her life when she meets Augustus, and she kind of has a bucket list of all the things she wants to do. One of the things is meet her favourite author. What's the book called? Of the
An Imperial Affliction.
Oh yeah, that's it. And they go to Amsterdam, and he's not really who she thought he was going to be, and he can't really provide her with the answers to the questions she has. But because of that, she ends up going back to Augustus, and they sleep together, which I guess is a thing to tick off your bucket list. And and she goes to Amsterdam, and she's always wanted to go there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of like, even though the ending is sad and he dies, which you know somebody's going to die at the end, it's almost like she's kind of okay with it because she kind of felt like she lived by the end of it. Like if she died where the book started out, she hadn't really grown up, but by the end of the book she's gone on such a journey that she has lived.
And we sort of go on the journey with her, and
she's almost like kind of made peace with it. So that's the theme that I kind of had in my mind. What was...
another theme, obviously death is like at the forefront, but also it's like we were discussing it being sort of like a love story, because obviously they meet and they fall in love, and it starts quite slowly, like he's quite into her but she's a bit like meh, and doesn't seem very interested, and then sort of develops and they become a lot closer, and it's really cute. He writes a letter to Patrick Van Houten or something.
He's the author
of the book that she loves, that she goes to meet, and he writes a letter to her at the end, and to him at the end, saying how much he loves him and stuff, and it's really cute.
Well, I think those themes tie in quite well with each other, so... Yeah, so what, did you notice any other themes that we haven't discussed so far?
Feel free to comment.
She is my beauty queen and my lover. Yes, I love her.
Did the characters grow or change throughout the novel?
I feel like Hazel grows at the start. She is like her mum describes her as like being depressed, like, which is why she makes her go to the support group, because she like stays in bed all the time and just reads this book that she loves over and over and over, and says that she's just thinking about like death. So at the start she seems kind of in a rut and sort of
She's quite
accepting.
morbid at the start, isn't
Yeah,
she?
and she's quite like, well, I'm going to die and there's nothing I can do about it. But then as it goes on, she starts having all these experiences, and as I said, like when she first meets Augusta, she doesn't seem bothered. She just seems like, oh, I can't be bothered for
Yeah,
relationship.
it's almost like she feels there's no point in getting into a relationship because she's just going to die, and what's the point in trying to give any more meaning to her life?
Yeah, but then it just sort of develops, and they go to Amsterdam, and
by the end she's kind of grown up, and like, she's not that much older, but
she
she's
seems
kind
a lot more positive in the end. And
yeah. And I guess he's kind of the same, because Augustus kind of loves playing basketball, doesn't he, at school? And then he loses one of his legs. What kind of cancer he has? But he loses one of his legs, and he has to kind of like, gets to grips with it before he meets her. But then it's kind of like this journey he goes on through, kind of working out what he wants in his life and kind of who he is. And her parents as well. Because they kind of learn to let go of her a bit.
Yeah. Just
like give her a bit of space, like they originally wanted for her.
Yeah.
So I think all the characters grow.
Yeah, which is like the best thing of a novel, really,
Yeah.
going on a journey with the characters and stuff.
It's definitely a coming of age.
Yes, definitely.
She'll take me where I want to go.
Okay, so our next question is what was our experience of the book like? So do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can do. So Charl actually gave me this book to read. She recommended it and said that she thought I would enjoy it, and she was right. I basically just started reading it. I read it over about 24 hours, so I definitely enjoyed it. I kind of raced through it. And I really enjoyed it. Like, I got into it really quickly. Like, the opening chapter really kind of brought me in. I found Hazel like a really interesting character. And then when she met Augustus, I was like, oh, that's going to be a love story. Yeah. And then I realised it's going to be more than a love story, which made it even better. My overall experience of it was good. I don't think there's anything I would change to it, except I kind of would have liked them to have done something as well as Amsterdam. I don't know, just something a bit more... I don't know what, but just something maybe a bit more. I kind of felt like there could have been just one more thing that they did, just them two, that kind of made you feel like their relationship was like grown even more since when they first met.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a good experience.
Awesome.
A
What would you
quick
give the book out of
experience.
5?
Oh, my rating.
This is a very on-the-spot rating.
I would probably give it a 4. 4.5. Can I go for 4.5?
You can go for 4.5.
I'd probably go for a 4.5, just because I love the characters, I love the plot, thought the writing was really good, had a good balance of like humour, but it was also really sad in places. But it isn't a book that... It's not my favourite book, and only my favourite book would get 5 stars. I don't know. Just wasn't quite there. It was nearly.
Yeah.
Just half a star off. So, what was your experience of the book, Charl?
So when I started my blog over the summer, all the blogs that I was following were talking about it. So I was like, okay, I'll have to read it. And it was young. It's sort of a young adult sort of book, which I don't usually read. I usually read just sort of Stephen King.
Mature books.
Mature
For the
books.
mature lady.
For the university student. So yeah, I was like, well, I'm not really sure what I'll make of it, but I got through it pretty quickly. Just kept going because it's so easy to read, and I thought the characters were so interesting, and the plot really like moved forward, didn't it?
Yeah.
When I heard about the plot, I expected there to be a lot more of Hazel, and not like at the start, and then it gets to Augustus, but it was sort of straight in with she meets Augustus, and so I thought that was really good. What else is there to say? What?
Your rating?
Oh, my rating.
Or is that too soon? Are you ready to rate?
I'm ready to rate. On my blog, I've done a review, shameless plug, and I think I gave it 5 cupcakes. They're cupcakes, not stars on my blog, because that's the way I roll. And I would probably give it 4 3/4, because there was one bit that I wasn't sure about, which is, I loved the writing, and I loved all of it, but the bit with Patrick Van Houten, I wasn't sure about. I thought he was a bit of a knob, and I thought that was...
He
and it
didn't
made
seem
me
like
a little
real
sad.
character, did he?
It seemed like it was a plot device just to get him in there, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think he seemed like a real character. He seemed a bit like a, could you say caricature of a character? Don't think that makes sense, but...
No, I know what you mean. It seemed a bit... Yeah. I just yawned.
So you're 4 3/4 of a cupcake.
It's 5 on my blog because I couldn't bother to do an image of a 3/4 of a cupcake. But just that little quarter...
It was just something...
It's not my favourite book, but I think it made me cry at the end. And not many books do that. I'm a bit of a Hearthstone person. So.
Yeah, I am as well.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it did make me sad at the end. Very sad.
I had a bit
Very, very sad.
Very, very sad. I had a bit of a lump in my throat. So
Yeah.
I was like... So, yeah.
I think it's because it's like really strange because the author, is not young. The author is like middle aged, and you wonder how he managed to write so sincerely from like
Teenager.
15.
She's 17.
Oh, she's 17.
It says right at the start.
A 17-year-old girl's perspective.
Yeah.
And it really did feel like it. So, yeah, he deserves his 4.5 stars and 4 3/4 cupcakes.
Blue sky,
Did you find the ending satisfying? Was it a satisfying ending for you, Charl?
I was very sad that Augustus died, but I knew one of them was going to die at the start. With this kind of novel, you know that's going to happen. So I was satisfied because I felt that if one of them was going to die, the way it was done, I thought was really well. Like, he'd written it really well. And I think at the end, where she seems very hopeful and very, she seems happy at the end despite what's happened. And
yeah, like she's grieving, but she kind of,
but she's okay. And I think that's probably the most satisfying ending you can get in a novel that's like this, because it could go in a very disastrous direction. But I feel like it was quite a satisfying ending at the end. I was just like, you know, it made me think at the end, and I like that. Yeah, I thought the ending was really good.
yeah, I think I kind of thought the same. Like, it was a satisfying ending because you can kind of go two ways. You can be really ambiguous, or you can be really like, kind of
tie up all the loose ends.
Yeah.
This is what's happened. Yeah.
And I think that if we'd known exactly what happened, like, if he'd given like us a little recap, like, Hazel died at the age of 52. She had 3 cats, and her mum was working as a waitress in Hooters. You'd just be like, I didn't need
Her
to.
mum be like 80 something, working in Hooters.
But you know what I mean? Like, you tie up all the loose ends.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's nothing to leave you thinking about anything. Like, it's like all the work's been done for you. And I always think that's a lazy ending. It's a lazy ending when you know exactly what's happening.
We were saying how, like, we don't know what's happened to any of the characters at the end. And
Yeah.
although that can be unsatisfying, it's also quite interesting because it leaves you to think about it for yourself.
Well, it's kind of like their lives go on, the characters' lives go on, and in our mind they do as well. Because they don't know what is in store for them in the future, and neither do we. So, no, I thought as an ending it was satisfying. Sad, but satisfying.
Yeah.
But I like sad endings. They're realistic.
And the thing is, it's a good way of knowing if it's if they've done it well, if it makes you sad, because sometimes they can try and, you know, make too many things happen. It's like, come on, get a reaction.
Yeah.
But because it was done so simply, you still,
Yeah.
it was sad, and it was, got a good bad reaction in some ways because you're sad, but then it was nice that it got a reaction. Do you know what I mean? I'm rambling. Yeah.
Good rambling though.
Interesting.
and out of my blue sky eyes, I see
So the last question is, how has the novel changed you or your perspective of life as we know it?
Gosh.
Very deep question.
It is. I guess I wouldn't say it's changed me, but I think it's maybe changed the way, probably more changed the way I'd write a story than it changed me as a person. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of think that it made me think about, like, one, writing from somebody who's really different to me, like, completely different situation, completely different demographic, like, I think that would be an interesting thing for me to explore a bit more. And I think in terms of my perspective, I don't know, like, she's got cancer, but she's gonna die one day, and I guess it's just, I don't know, I think when you read a book like this, it does kind of make you feel, sounds really cheesy, but it kind of makes you feel like, oh, I really need to appreciate what I've got.
Yeah.
I know it sounds really stupid.
No,
and
I
lame,
was going to say exactly the same.
but it's like, because she struggles breathing, she has like gas,
like
doesn't she, to help
tubes and
her.
things as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, and like when she gets out of bed, like her mum has to come and change them all, and like I finished it in the morning, and I was just like, I'm so lucky I can get out of my bed and not like have to have my mum hook me up to anything, or so I felt kind of content with my life at the end. So it changed me a little bit as a writer and a little bit as a person.
Yeah. Why are you laughing?
It just sounds really lame, like it changed me as a person.
I love books change people.
Yeah, but I feel like well, no, it was a good book. It was a good book. What about you? How has it changed you and your perspective?
As you say, the way it's changed me is that obviously you find yourself like being a bit more grateful when you read about characters, even though it's not real, but we know it happens in real life. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's a very realistic situation.
Cancer's is very real at the moment.
Exactly, and we've all been affected by it, and it's like, you know, you can appreciate things and stuff then. But then, on my perspective, it's changed my perspective on young adult fiction a little bit, because this is not in the direction that you were expecting me to go.
No, it's interesting though.
But I never used to read young adult, but I can see myself reading a bit more now, because it was really easy to read and just but well written, and I thought it was just really, really good. Perspective. What else? I suppose I normally write about adults as well, and I suppose it's made me think about writing about teenagers and things as well, and sort of stepping out of my comfort zone and trying to write like a teenager, because he did that quite well.
Yeah. From both hers and his point of view. I was going to say, talking about young adult fiction, a book it kind of reminded me of is Perks of Being a Wallflower. Oh
yeah, that was a really good book as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that one day.
It's
for our book club.
So she's trying to look on her bookshelf where it is.
I am.
But I saw it. I'll put that. But yeah, it's a good book.
It's such a good book, and it's quite similar. Like it's of a similar like group of people, like age wise. I think he's about 16, 17, and his is a coming of age. Like both of them are coming of age ones.
Yeah.
So if you loved this book, I'm pretty sure you would love this book as well.
We need to watch the film.
Yeah,
we should watch that soon.
We should.
So it's like,
just shove a random book into the book.
Yes, those are our questions for this week.
Okay, so for the next book club, which will be in a month's time, so it's the last Wednesday of the month.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We are going to be reading The Graduate by Charles Webb. And I know pretty much nothing about this book except for the song. Is it Mrs. Robinson? Yeah, Mrs. Robinson.
Mrs. Robinson. Yeah. That one.
I'm completely out of time now. But apparently that's from this book, and it's supposed to be amazing. I've had loads of people tell me it's good. So we're going to be reading this, and we'll be posing similar questions. So give it a thought, and you got a month. So get reading, people.
Yeah, and get commenting and let us know what you thought of the Fault in Our Stars and discuss our questions and stuff. That'd be really cool to get some comments. And subscribe.
Subscribe.
Because we've only got 3, and one of them's you. So yeah.
So that's the end of our vlog experience.
Vlog book club today.
And next week we will be doing, I think, fashion.
Yeah, fashion next week. So tune in and as I say, subscribe, leave comments, all that jazz. Yeah. Yeah.
And just let us know if you have any thoughts of anything, like any books you want us to do for the next book club after the one about the graduates.
Yeah, the December book club.
For December.
Which we probably won't actually be able to do because it's New Year's, isn't it? So I guess we'll do it that way. We'll probably think of something. But yeah.
A Christmas related one.
We'll have to do a Christmas related one. Think of a Christmas book. There we go.
Yes, think of a Christmas book.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So we'll see you next week.
What about a Christmas Carol?
They're like, will they stop talking? Yeah.
Sorry.
We could do it. Let's have a think. We could just watch the Muppets Christmas Carol.
A film club.
Yeah, but I love the song.
We could act it out.
Do you know what song I'm about?
Yeah.
Feels like Christmas. I love it. That's the best film ever. Although at Christmas time.
Yeah.
It's not the best film ever, but
Elf's a good film.
it's okay. But it doesn't have Feels like Christmas.
It's true. Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed our first book club,
Yeah.
and we'd love to hear your thoughts. We keep saying comments. So
So yeah, we'll see you next week for fashion.
yeah.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.
Bye.